Hi you guys, so it's been a while since I made a video, but God has put it on my heart that I need to get back into making the videos because it's going to help somebody. So I'm going to go over a dream that I recently had. I had it yesterday, and after I go over the dream, I will interpret it for you. So in this dream, I'm in a school setting, and I'm not sure what type of school it is, but it's training me for something, and there's other students around, but we have to now go downstairs, and it's like a meet and greet downstairs. So as I'm going down the staircase, I see two dead birds. One is black, the other one is blackish gray, and I'm very careful to bypass them and not go near them. I get downstairs, there's a light complexion girl, and she runs past me to my right, and she meets her parents. Her parents, they lift her off the ground and give her a hug. Her feet are literally off the ground, and they're raising her up. I look to my left, and there's two other younger light complexion kids, and they run to this brown skinned man, and he lifts them off the ground and he gives them a hug. Well, there's no one that's there to greet me, so he looks at me as if I can go over there and give him a hug, and I'm like, no, I don't know you. Then it's time for us to go back upstairs. So I hear this voice out of nowhere say, follow the group back upstairs. So I go back the way that I came, and as I'm going back upstairs, I still see the two dead birds on the staircase. I get back up to the level that I was originally on, and now we are to pack our things up. My things happen to be wrapped in newspaper, and it's not the colorful newspaper, it's the black and white part of the newspaper with all of the words. And so all of my belongings is wrapped in this newspaper, and I have to put it in this clear plastic bag. And as I'm putting my belongings in this clear plastic bag that are wrapped in newspaper, I feel like, oh, people are gonna think I'm carrying around trash. It looks like trash. But I know that the items that are wrapped in this newspaper are good items. I get to the last item, and it happens to be a Bible. But this time I take the newspaper off the Bible. Well, the girl who's light-skinned, who's now sitting to my left, she looks over and she says, oh, I can get you a new Bible, because the Bible was a little bit on the older side, on the outside. And I says, no, my Bible, I'm happy with my Bible. And I flip it open, and the pages look brand new. There's no crinkle, there's no moisture marks anywhere on them. And I show her that the Bible that I have is actually in really good condition and practically new. Well, she's like, no, let me get you a new Bible. And I said, no. And she continued to get up and go past me to go into this room that's behind me to get the Bible. And I'm like, I'm happy with my Bible. Well, a few moments later, she comes out of the room, and I look at her hands, and I notice that she doesn't have the Bible. And then she's standing outside of the doorway of this room. She doesn't come over to me, but she's standing there, and she's looking over at me. And then she's looking down at my Bible. So I'm looking at her, and she seems to have this puzzled look on her face. And then I look down at my Bible, and I wake up. Now here is the interpretation, and this is not just for me. It applies to you all too. It applies to who it applies to, and the Holy Spirit will illuminate it in your heart when you hear what the interpretation is. So the schooling is that God is going to be training me. He's training certain people in this hour for what He's about to call you into. You know that you're at the near the finish line. You know that your testing is pretty much over, and you're going into your training season, and you're about to go into the promises that God has for you. And many of you are already feeling like this, and you already kind of know which stage you're in. So this was showing that we're in a training season. We're coming out of the trials and the tribulations. We're coming out of the testing season, and now we're going into the training season for the promise that God has for us. And then as I got upstairs, and going back to the other part of the dream, as I was going downstairs, I saw the two dead birds. The two dead birds represent monitoring spirits. Some of us have been being hassled by monitoring spirits, by people with a narcissistic spirit. And they seem to be trying to hinder us and pray against the will of God for our lives. But God showed me those two dead birds, saying that He is destroying those monitoring spirits off of people's lives. He is releasing people from these monitoring spirits. They're no longer going to have to be wrestling with all this spiritual warfare anymore. He is freeing people from these kind of attacks. Now, when I got downstairs, I noticed that the light-skinned girl, she ran past me and was able to hug her parents, and her parents lifted her off the ground. They raised her up off the ground. There are people whose parents idolize them, and they pretty much they glorify them, and they lift their children up, and they glorify their children. And it's showing that she's relying on people to lift her up. She's relying on her parents, how they lift her up and praise her. She's relying on those kind of praises. And then I saw the two younger children who were also light complexion, and they ran over and hugged the brown skinned man. Well, to me, I felt a bad energy in my gut when I seen him. And I felt like he's a false god. He's representing some kind of a false, because he came out like he was like this preacher, like this holy type man that is safe to come to and to approach. And I felt in my gut, no, do not go near him. I don't know this man. But these two young children, they ran up to him and they hugged him, and he lifted him off the ground. But in my spirit, I said, no, do not go near this man, because he represented a false holy man. And he was lifting him off the ground, which is another form of putting their trust in man to lift him up. Well, there was nobody for me to lift me up. There was no physical person there, because my trust is not in man. My trust is in God. It's God who's going to be lifting us up in this season. Many of us don't have people that are there cheering us on and rooting us on. It was God who was with us this whole walk. And it is God who's going to be lifting you up, not man. Then as I went back up the stairs, I was packing my things away. And my belongings were wrapped in this newspaper, and to me it looked like trash. It looked like, oh, they're thinking I'm putting trash in this clear plastic bag. And because the plastic bag was clear, it's like, clearly this is how they perceive me, and this is how they perceive my giftings and what I have to offer. And for some of you, people are thinking, clearly this person don't have it together, and clearly this person isn't qualified for this and that. Well, God is going to really shock some people through you all. And God is going to make them see that clearly He is for you, and that your gifting is of Him, and your gifting are of high quality. But He has to hide your gifting so that nobody will come after it and try to hinder you or try to mess with your gifting. Now, when I unwrapped the Bible, and the light-skinned girl said, "Oh, let me get you a new Bible," what she was really trying to do was give me a new religion. And I was like, no, I'm happy with my Bible. And it looked a little bit tattered on the outside, but when I opened it up, it was brand new on the inside. And so my faith is like, no, I'm happy with my truth, my true faith. I do not want this new religion. But she was so excited about her new religion and trying to pass her new religion at me that she didn't even hear me, and she ran into the room to go and bring out this new religion. Well, something must have happened. She must have gotten the message, because she didn't bring it out. And she stood outside the door and was looking at my Bible. And I guess to her it's like, well, she's got it all going on. She's being praised, and she's being glorified by her parents, and they idolize her. They're lifting her off the ground. And she's like thinking, how is it that someone like me with a bag of which clearly looks like trash, how is it that I don't want this new thing that she's offering? Because I know the truth that I have, and many of you know the truth that you have, and you're not going to be going for no false new religion, no new age anything. And so continue to hold on to what God has for you. And so when she was looking at me, and I looked at her, she's no more proud, like, oh, like, expecting me to be envious of what she looks like and what she's got going on and who all lifting her up. Now she's looking at me wondering, why is it that I would want to hold on to this and not receive what she was offering? Now she's interested in what I have. And so you don't always have to personally testify to people. The fact that you aren't even trying to go after what they're going after is going to make them try to look at what you have. The fact that you aren't trying to go after their false religion, their new age anything, is going to make them take a second look and wonder, well, what do you have that you want to hold on so strongly that you don't want what everybody else is running after? So you don't even have to make the effort. Just you sticking with the true God, sticking with your true Bible, is going to draw people to wanting to know the truth that you have. So this is the message that God had brought to me to bring out to you all. And I know that who it's for, and it will resonate with you. I pray that you will be blessed. And if you do have some commentary or any testimony or anything to add, please leave it in the comments below. And please like this video, because I'm trying to get back into creating more video content. Most of my video got erased. So I'm trying to rebuild my video content. So if you could give a thumbs up, that would help the algorithm. And you all have a blessed day.